Welcome back to the channel, guys. So yeah, it's been a while since I've uploaded videos on car reviews. A lot has been happening, in fact, it's been a couple of months, if not almost a year now. And the previous video that I had uploaded was the Toyota Hilux, the 2.8. And yeah, that was the last I did. After that, I've been doing a couple of maintenance items on the two cars that I've got, which is the 2019 Ford Ranger. I'm also going to do a video on that. It's about 4.5 years old now. But specifically today, I want to touch base on what I'm sitting in right now, the 2014 Ford Fiesta 1 liter Ecoboost automatic. And it hasn't been smooth sailing, in all honesty. I think so. I bought it in 2021. Yeah. So almost sitting at 2 years, a few months left now. So yeah, it's almost 2 years. So I bought it with 120,000 kilometers on it. And immediately when I got it, look, the guy that I had bought it from, he was straight up. He told me what was wrong with it in terms of it had one issue, that was the coolant bottle in the engine bay. So it had a tiny leak. One of the hoses going into the what's this thing? I'm looking for the word. The coolant bottle. Yeah, let's just call it the coolant bottle. So one of the hoses had a tiny leak. So I just bought a new coolant bottle, as well as those hoses that needed to be changed. Costed a couple of R100s, or couple of hundreds. I think about 600 rands, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, roughly. Got that fixed. Yeah, drove the car. Everything was fine. Then I think about a year later, so started hearing a lot of noise coming from the suspension. And basically I took it in. Okay, so there was that noise after a year. After that noise, okay, the battery also died on me. That's just when an tear item. Bought a new battery for like 1,200 rands. So I think at the time then we were sitting at like 1,800 rands. It's fine, not a big deal. And then that's just not counting the labor for changing the coolant bottle. So with the labor, I think the lady that was changing, the technician that was changing that, how much did she charge? It's about 200 rands. So sitting roughly at 2,000 rands. So yeah, changed the battery, which cost me 1,200 rands. And then what went wrong after that? Oh, okay, the gearbox started giving me problems. What were the problems on the gearbox? Basically what would happen immediately when the car gets to operating temperatures at like it's quite warmed up, what would happen is when you put it into drive, it wouldn't immediately select the first gear. Basically it would take some time in order to engage a gear. So since I actually bought this car for my wife, so she was the one that told me, and then I drove it quite a bit just to get what she was talking about. Then I noticed that, and I went into I'm on a Facebook group that has other people with the same car. Basically that's what I normally do. Even with the Ford Ranger, I'm also part of such a group. So they just told me, ah man, get the gearbox serviced, change the oil, and I had also thought of that because I had the issue that, or this is what had came up to mind, that um at that time the when it gets to operating temperatures, basically the viscosity of it becomes less. So as a result of the viscosity becoming less, then yeah, the oil becomes thinner in a nutshell. And yeah, I don't know how it affects it, but I affected it after a while. I thought those were just automatic gearbox. You didn't need to change any oil, like lifetime type of thing. But as I found out, it wasn't. So I took it in at the main dealer, Ford Queenstown. I told them, look, I didn't tell them that there was a gearbox issue, because in any case maybe they would just want to change the gearbox. But I just told them, can you service this gearbox, change the oil in the gearbox, so that I'm hoping it would make a difference. And yeah, the oil was changed, and after the oil was changed, it ran smoothly. By the way, some of the guys that had advised me to do that, they said that it also needed to, you also needed to change a filter, oil filter in the gearbox, but that wasn't the case. Apparently, it doesn't have a filter in the gearbox. So after that, then, oh, that cost, I think, around 1,800 rands, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 1,800 rands. So now we're sitting at 2,000 plus the 1,800, 3,800 rands basically. Okay, so at the time, basically sitting at 3,800 rands. It's fine. Then what was the next thing? So that I did at beginning of the year. Yeah, I think I did that at the beginning of the year. And then a few weeks ago, I finally had some money to sort out the suspension problem. So I took it to an RMI workshop here in Queenstown. It's called the Komani Automotive. Great guys. So they sorted out that for me. It was basically shocks needed to be changed, as well as shock mountings also needed to be changed. And those parts, I got them for 5,000 rands. Yeah, 5,000 rands. That's what I had spent. So it's basically 3,800 plus the 5,000. Now sitting at 8,800, right? Then the labor for that, then the guys there charged me 1,600 rands. So how much is that? So let's say about 9 plus 2 goes to 11. 11 minus 6. So we're sitting at like 10,400 rands just in maintaining this car. Okay. Same day after I had collected the car from the workshop at Commando Automotives, I hit a pothole. Remember, the sidewall of these tires for this car quite thin, so yeah, I hit a pothole. The tire wasn't repairable, so I had to buy another tire. I bought that for like 1,100. Yeah, because they are 15s. Yeah, 1,100 rands. So we said we're sitting at, so that's 11,500 rands. Now, after having spent that amount of money, my wife then says, "Nah, I want an SUV." So now, yeah, I've sorted those issues out. Now, the other issue that I have, this car, look, I've hardly drives it, maybe once or twice in a week. As a result of that, in the past 2 years we've had it, it has only done, we've only driven it for 25,000 kilometers. So it's sitting now at almost 145,000 kilometers. So because she hardly drives it and we don't have a, what's this thing, a carport where we're living, the bonnet has basically started fading. The color of the bonnet has started fading. Now I have to take it in by my panel beater, the guy that I normally use for any panel beating stuff, and he said he could do it for 4,000 rands. That it's not just the bonnet. So he says he can't just do the bonnet. It has to blend in with everything else. So it also has to do fenders, bumper, so that it looks good. And yeah, the reason that I have to do that so that I can sell it at the price that it's worth, because I checked on what's this thing, on Auto Trader. They've got an estimator over there. So basically so the estimator on Auto Trader said the value of the car ranges anything from 118,000 up to 132,000. So really I'm basically trying to get 120,000 rands, and it's got a full service history with Ford. And yeah, it's been a reliable vehicle, if I can put it like that, because every issue I've had has basically been a wear and tear item, except for the gearbox, of course. But with that, I think it just needed servicing. So it's not necessarily true what they say with the oil inside the gearbox. It needs to be changed during the life of the vehicle. So yeah, anyways, on top of that, I still have to spend the money with the panel beater. Yeah, money. So yeah, so that basically everything blends in. That's how much he's going to charge me, 4,000 rands. And yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be quite some money just to get rid of this car. I need to spend a bit of money, but it's fine. So basically hopefully I'll be able to do all of that and sell the car within a month. And yeah, at this point in time I'm looking at a couple of SUVs. At first I was looking for a 7-seater. Okay, so I looked at the Toyota Fortuner, but I was looking at We Buy Cars, for instance. Look, the thing is with We Buy Cars, you basically need to know your ins and outs on a car. You're able to buy a good car, and you're also able to buy a lemon. So my advice, look, for anyone, if you really want to go buy a car there, you just have to go with someone that know cars, mechanically the works. That's very important. Otherwise you'll be fixing your car every now and again. That's gonna end up costing you a lot of money. So I was looking at a Toyota Fortuner, but at my price range, I would get a quite beaten up a Toyota Fortuner. So I made peace with that. I can't afford it right now. Okay, and my wife doesn't like it in any case. She just says it's too big. I hope the focus is fine on this. So just fixing up my camera. Hope now it's fine in terms of the focus. Okay, so yeah, my wife doesn't like the Toyota Fortuner, and look, from my side, I can't afford it. A Toyota Fortuner that's still in good condition Look, man, you have to be spending good amount of money, you know. I think from around 250 rands, 250,000 rands. If you're looking at the previous generation Fortuner, that's the one having your D4D engines, the 2.5 and 3 liter engine. So that's what you'd be looking at spending. If you want one with basically a good condition, good engine, good bodywork and all of that. Anything below that, you're gonna get one with high mileage. Look, since it's a Toyota, I would say it's not necessarily an issue getting a Toyota with high mileage. I've bought Toyotas with high mileage and they've been reliable. But again, you have to think of this. It's not just the engine that has done the high mileage. Everything else around the car has also done high mileage. So that also you need to put in perspective. So yeah, I just decided the Fortune is at my price range. Nah, because I was looking anything from 120, maybe 250. There are a couple. If you don't mind the high fuel consumption, you'd get a Fortuner at that price range. If you're looking at the 4 liter V6, but those, man, they chow petrol. They chow petrol for days. They're thirsty. So if you don't have deep pockets, I would suggest just stay away from those. So yeah, if I had deep pockets, and I don't want to buy brand new, I'll just go for that and just tolerate the high fuel consumption. They sound good in any case, better than diesel engines. So after basically analyzing what I could get, we also all looked at the Ford Cougar. The Ford Cougar looks nice, even in terms of aging, it hasn't aged in a bad way, if I can put it like that. It still looks decent. Looked at it and basically I tried staying away from the automatics, and in any case they're a bit expensive. I think you only got the automatics with the titanium, the 2 liter diesel titanium. That's where you got the automatics. So yeah, they're quite a bit pricey. I then looked at the 1.5 and 1.6 liter turbo engines. Yeah, I could get into one of those, and the reason I can get into one of those is because I think after the whole I don't want to call it a scandal, but in any case, after the whole mess with Ford Cougars burning, I think their prices dropped quite a bit. That put a dent into the value of a Ford Cougar. It's a nice vehicle. I've never driven one. I know a couple of people that have Ford Cougars. So my next step was basically to go and check with people that have them. The mechanic that I normally use, that I said as a lady, she's got a Ford Cougar. So I was gonna ask her, for instance, what has experience been like with the Ford Cougar. That's what my next step was going to be. So look, a few weeks back, if not a couple of months, a few weeks back, I think there was another episode with the Ford Cougar burning. So that really messed up with my mind when it comes to the Ford Cougar. I just thought, it keeps on going out of focus. I don't know. I hope it's fine now. So that just messed up my whole opinion with the Ford Cougar. Look, I love Ford. Most of my life I've been driving Fords. So I decided, let me look at something else perhaps, whilst I'm in the process of still trying to do touch-ups on this vehicle before I sell it. By the time I sell it, I want to basically get onto another car, you know, because every now and again my wife needs to drive a car because sometimes I'm not around. So I don't know how this came about, but I found myself looking at the previous gen Mazda CX-5. Um, those are well spec'd, eh? They are well spec'd. Looked at the 2 liter. It's a 2 liter naturally aspirated engine. I love naturally aspirated engines, eh? They don't have a lot of power, nor do they have a lot of torque. You know, in fact, they're quite low on those, low on power, low on torque. But it's the reliability for me. Secondly, it's a Japanese brand, so you know you're getting reliability. So yeah, I found a couple basically within my price range. Some didn't look as good. I was also looking at We Buy Cars. So in fact, it's the cheapest place thus far, or let me rather say, on what I've seen. Maybe you guys can correct me if you know other sites whereby you can get cars at relatively cheaper prices, not really cheap, but cheaper prices than main dealers. So I saw a couple of Mazda CX-5s within my price range, and yeah, I'm looking at another automatic. And the nice thing is that they're all spec'd in terms of you've got your cruise control, it's an automatic, it doesn't have leather seats with the active, I think. You only get it on dynamic and individual, if I'm not mistaken. What else did I like about the car? Yeah, it's got a bit of some ground clearance since an SUV, and a decent sized boot as well. What else? What else? What else? What else? I think yeah, it also has got a reversing camera and an armrest. Jeez, this car doesn't have an armrest. That's one thing that just bothered me every now and again, you know. I like resting my left arm. So yeah, that's just one thing I like to have in a car, an armrest. There is one. Yeah, it's got some nice features in it, you know. It's got keyless start as well. I think it's got that stop start function. I don't like those, but in any case, it's got it. I'm sure you can deactivate it. And yeah, that's what I've narrowed my search to. So yeah, that's what I had narrowed down to in terms of getting another vehicle for my wife. So I'm really crossing fingers to get the CX-5. As I said, it's a well-spec vehicle and it's Japanese, so that shouldn't give any issues really, you know. So yeah, just crossing fingers for me to get it at my budget. That would just sweeten the deal for me. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Updates on the Ford Fiesta 2014 Ford Fiesta 1 liter EcoBoost. And yeah, it's been a great car, and hoping to get another one soon after what we've just spoken about. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Please subscribe to the channel and also like the videos. Have a good one.